Good evening, everybody. Welcome to League of Extraordinary Inventors. I'm your host, Mike from Faraday Research. And also we have our panel on tonight, our regular guests. We have Nathan, we got Philip, and we also have Ben. Welcome to the show, everybody. Kind of doing a last minute decision to do a show on a Saturday night. Usually I don't do shows on a Saturday night, but since I've been on the night shift, haven't been able to do my quote unquote regular Friday night show. So I got the itch to do a show. So I went on Nathan's show earlier today, and that was an amazing show. Probably the best show you've ever done. The information was incredible. I highly recommend you go to Nathan's channel after the show tonight. Bookmark it, watch it later, save it in your favorites or whatever, but watch the entire show. It's very informative on what Joel was talking about. I'm hoping that he's going to jump in. Oh, hold on a sec.
Joe,
I've jumped in.
Hey, he is. Welcome.
Right on.
Yeah, I was just going on about the show you and Nathan did today, and it was amazing. Really, really well done.
Yeah, no, and thank you for joining us on that too, man.
Yeah.
Very cool show. Philip, he is back. He's back in Canada. He was in Texas the last week at the conference, and he actually met up with Lulu for the first time, and she turned out to be a real big help for him. So I guess we'll start there with Philip. I know you have a lot to say, and the whole experience was a great one. So yeah, take the stage there, Philip, and give us a breakdown on what happened.
Yeah. So like I was saying before the show, I had a booth and a poster presentation. It was only 2 days. I thought it was 3 days, but it turned out to be 2 days. But very dense days. The first day was the booth, so I installed my booth, and strangely, Lockheed Martin had a booth right next to me. So I found it very strange. Maybe they want me to. It was some sort of a Lockheed Ventures. So maybe they wanted me to. They know about me, obviously, but maybe they encouraged me to apply for their ventures. But most importantly, I met the guy, some important guy in the U.S. Navy. I forgot his name, but I was about to do my poster presentation to him, and he said he knew about me already. So he said, is your work peer reviewed? And then I said that, well, it's going to be in January. I hired a PhD to help me out getting my paper published. So it's gonna be in January, but it's gonna be piece. It's gonna have to be done piece by piece, and it's gonna be a slow process. But and then he just took my contact information, my card, and he took a picture of it, and then he left. So he was like the type of person you don't want to mess with. It's I screwed up my first impression 2 years ago, but now I think it's repaired. And I also met another guy from the U.S. Navy from San Antonio. He was very interested into my technology, and he asked me a lot of. We had a great conversation, and I'm waiting to hear back from him because Texas. I think the U.S. Navy is the central point for them with the Fort Worth and all these places. So I think it's Texas is a central point for the U.S. Navy. So the most important people will be from there. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I met some guy from the National Security Agency. They were interested into Fornox C++ superset. They're more into cybersecurity. So I told them about C++ superset. So yeah, that's good. The Department of Energy, I asked them a stack of questions, and they're mostly interested into electrolysis or hydrogen production. So obviously, I have the theory, but the I know friends of mine that are more advanced into that. So I just forwarded them the contact info for the DOE. I talked to NVDA as well. NVDA, I applied for NVDA incentive program for startups before, but they said, you have to be a partner, or you have to have some sales or something like that. Apparently, it's not true, but I'm gonna talk to them to talk to another guy directly from NVDA. I've got his card here, so I'm gonna talk to him directly. And yeah, so there was DARPA, also Missile Defense Agency, NASA was there, the Army, some small business administration department that helps small business, the administration of the small business. But I need to be US based, so I'm gonna ask my friend to get all the funding, not to drink it up, not to burn it all up, and then I'll move to the United States, in Nevada or something like that. And so yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. And obviously the steaks are so good in Texas, man. I gotta go there just for that. The steaks, the food, very good, extremely good. The food is awesome, and obviously I did have Lulu gave me lifts, but we drove a little bit, but it was during the week, so most of the places were closed, so we didn't hang out. We just hang out a little bit, but not too much. But yeah, it's a nice city. Austin is a nice little city, and so yeah, I'm pretty happy about the trip over there in Austin. We what else? We met. There was. So yeah, I'm gonna target the U.S. Navy more than anything else because it's a government organization, and I think it's safer to talk to them than Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, they're gonna do everything to screw you up or something like that. So I feel a little
The
bit
Navy's
safer.
the Navy's got very deep pockets when it comes to defense funding. The Navy has a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the biggest, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, their engineering department for the U.S. Navy has always been cutting edge. Even I would say more than the Air Force.
So yeah, right now with the tension with Russia and all that, in all these things, obviously they want any type of innovation as possibly as they can, and I think if I can offer them the stealth submarines, submarines that makes no noise with the anti-gravity engine, or force fields to protect from hypersonic missiles, or high temperature electrolysis for submarines and energy teleportation, then I don't know what's more innovative than that, but I'm pretty sure one of them will catch on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll talk to them. I was tired. Pretty much tired today, but I'll send them a stack of email tomorrow. So I should hear back from them next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us what happened with you and Lulu. She was a big help.
Oh yeah. She helped me carry stuff around. At the last evening, we'd chill together. We'd watch some football in a corner bar, in a bar kind of half outside. It's outside, but it's kind of under a building, under a roof, and we just chill, man. She's very talkative. She's even me. Usually, I don't talk that much, but with her, we're very on the same wavelength. So we talked about pretty much anything and everything. So yeah, she's a black belt. Actually, do you guys know that? She's actually
I know that.
a black belt in
She's
Taekwondo.
an animal.
That's cool.
Animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
She's our bodyguard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep those NSA boys at the convention in line, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, but she has a family, and she had her ups and downs, but now I think she's doing good, and she was very happy to come to Austin. She didn't know about these types of events, but now she knows, and she gathered a lot of information. So it's just a matter of connecting the dots from now on. So yeah, so let's see what happens. But next week, I should have some answers from all these contacts here.
Yeah, even if you just had one, that'd be great because that could lead to good things, right? Funding, whatever, or collaboration, or
Yeah, exactly. And if I have to move, then it's a good thing because the National Research Center of Canada, they did not even reply to me yet. So I'll be happily moving back to the United States. Woohoo!
Well, make us all make it a little bit easier for us all to meet up.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's funny. I think was it a joke? I think.
Hey, you're defecting Canada? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, get ready to pay them health insurance bills, buddy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Say goodbye to your health care here.
All I do is paying taxes here in Montreal, so I kind of got tired of that,
Yeah, there's high taxes there, isn't there, in
yeah.
Montreal and Quebec?
Oh, Toronto too. Oh yeah, it's high taxes.
Hey,
But
that's all right. You want to live in this? You want to live in the States and keep close to Montreal? Just drive 5 hours south where I am, and then it's really cheap to live here and it's nice.
where are you?
In New York State.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in New York a few years back. Drove through
yeah.
Syracuse and Buffalo and New York City, Manhattan. Was in
Well,
Queens, Long Island.
yeah. It's funny. I moved from the most expensive place in the country to live to the least expensive place in the country to live like that, and it's
Which
in the
was
same state.
which one? San Francisco? Or?
No. I lived on the South Shore of Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very expensive there. Very, very expensive. And then here it's insanely cheap.
Oh, nice. That's got to be a
Yeah.
lot better for you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
for that
sounds
reason
like a
alone.
better arrangement. I'm glad it's working out for you over there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I lived in Texas for a while too, and I'm not surprised you liked it there at all because I mean Texas is amazing.
Yeah, the steak is really, man. I
Oh, yeah.
never had such a good steak when I've been since I've been there. So you're
That's
just
enough for
gonna go
me.
back one day just for that, you know?
Sounds good to me.
Hey,
Yeah.
Philip, let me ask you: when you were there, was there anybody else like doing what the guys in this group are doing with coils and over Unity and stuff like that, or was it like what did the other people have like to show?
No, there was a lot of there was one company from Ottawa on software, cybersecurity. There was biology thing, a lot of things in biology. But I didn't saw all the posters. I didn't walk around and just watch all the posters, but um, yeah, there was no. I didn't see any over Unity things. So if uh, if Mike Faraday at some point wants to show off his work, he can definitely go there. Um,
That's awesome. I might go
Yeah.
there myself.
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, they don't accept anybody, but if you have cool technology that works, then you'll make it for sure.
That's very cool.
It's a worldwide event, so it's all the applicants or anybody from on the planet, and it's
Wow.
not it's a 2 days event. So in the room we were at, there was a small room and a big hall. In the small room, it was like the SMBs. In the big room was more the main corporates. And in the small room, we're not that much. Actually, we're like maybe 20 companies. 20 companies for one day from all the applicants from on the planet. I think that gives you an idea. So if you have over Unity, I didn't see anything related to that. So if you can make it, any one of you, I suggest to apply there. It's obviously it's around $3,000, 3 grand to have a booth.
Right.
It's for one day, US dollars. For a poster presentation is $700. You have to fly there, get the hotel,
Yeah.
and all that. But if you
Yeah, it's
live
an
already
expensive
in the
week.
United States, if you already live in the United States, then it's much cheaper. The flight and all that, the
Yeah.
hotel. So yeah, because I had two extra luggage for the plane from Montreal. The two extra luggage cost me $80, 80 Canadian dollars extra. But from Texas, it cost me 26 US dollars. Just to give you an idea, they charge twice as much from Montreal, and it's it's the same trajectory. But if you depart from Montreal, it's twice as much. So we got screwed here in Canada.
I'll
It's
tell you
amazing.
though, for this group, I do feel like the more appropriate convention would probably be like Cosmic Summit or something like that.
I was just about to mention that. Like, I tried to get in contact with George Howard about possibly having some kind of presentation for the next one he sets up, if he sets up another one.
They've been pretty good about having them, I think, the last few years at least. So
It's been consistent. Yeah, because
what was
I've
it,
only
North
seen the last
Carolina
one.
last time?
Sorry, what's the name of the event you're talking about?
The Cosmic Summit.
Okay, is that like a open source thing or a commercial thing?
So from what I understand, it's a bit of both. They just have on a bunch of presenters and inventors who have like radical ideas that are kind of like not mainstream, like stuff that we would talk about.
Yeah.
It's like Flat Earth convention for people that think the Earth is round.
Oh, yeah.
But it's getting a lot of traction.
It is.
The one that I went to, at least virtually, I seen there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it draws a pretty decent enough crowd. I mean, at least a few hundred people a day. And
Is it always
I mean,
Is it always in North Carolina?
I'm not sure. I know last year I thought it was. Yeah. I don't know. They had some good presenters, though. I know Malcolm Bendel was there last year with Jordan. And Sheila Rahman was there. And what's her name? The chick that always talks about Egypt. Always forget her name.
Johanna Jameson?
Yeah, Joanna James. That's her. Yeah, she's a looker, that one.
Do you have to go down with some kind of working presentation, or do you just show something, or what do you do?
I guess we just get in contact with George Howard and show him, what we have to present. That's what I assume. I have his email. He's probably a busy guy, but maybe we just shoot him a couple of emails and see if he answers one of us back.
Yeah, it would probably be like sort of like an interactive lecture Q&A with like a demonstration. It's usually something like that. It gets a lot of exposure though. Lots of people with cameras.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, but that's a cool thing because that's in my case, I'm done with the hypothesis, so I want to move on with something else, the next step. So either you commercialize it or you don't, but you want to show it off. You want to show it off. People are not gonna come at your door, knocking at your door about your experiment. Yeah, you have to go out there and show it off.
That's what I say. Have live demonstrations. That's what I'm, planning on doing myself here locally, and as far out into the country as I can afford to go, at least.
Yeah, I would love to like set up a conference here in Toronto for it, but the problem is, how it's going to be really, really hard to get a decent amount of crowd together. I have to establish a name and get that credibility out there before I can, start a conference in Toronto, because they did have, I believe, a Tesla Tech conference in Toronto way back in the 80s. And one of the speakers there was Bruce De Palma. He was there.
That would be cool.
Bruce De Palma was there. John Bendini, Peter Linderman was there. Like all the big names back, in those days, they were all there in Toronto. It was at the University of Toronto where they did the conference. So there was some pretty innovative stuff going on back then, especially, Bruce De Palma and the End Machine. Yeah, that was one of the big attractions, which I replicated a small scale of it. So out of a 3-inch diameter magnet, two of them, two fishing magnets, north poles facing out, I spun it up to about 4,000 RPM, and I was getting about 30 to 35 amps of current just
That's
by spinning
incredible.
magnets.
Yeah.
Just by
Yeah. And you've
spinning-
seen like me spinning the magnet, I got a reduction of 10 watts. You know, like you literally see the wattman go from 24 watts to 14 while the magnet's spinning, and then I take it out and it just goes right back up.
Yeah. So yeah, I've dabbled with quite a few devices. Bruce De Palma kind of really inspired me, so I made it.
There's a lot of ways that you can do the same thing, but I think the important thing is that some of these things are very simple to do.
Yep.
So I have a little thing that I wanted to ask you guys about. We got a good crowd to ponder this one. What kind of psyop nonsense is going on with all of these drones flying over military bases, and they're not saying what they are, and they're like, we can't track them, and they don't shoot them down. I mean, common sense dictates. Like, first of all, if I shine a laser pointer at an airplane, I'm gonna get a knock on my door probably the next day,
Oh
get
yeah.
put in handcuffs, and be talking to a judge about it.
Yep.
They know exactly where it comes from.
Yeah.
You know, there's no question,
Yeah.
there's no ifs, ands, buts, or doubts. Right.
It's pretty amazing how they can do that.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, try like a buddy of mine. It happened to him. You know, he was just screwing around. You know, waving it around. The next thing, they didn't get any trouble for it ultimately. But long and short is, they knew. They let him know that they knew. You know, and that's how seriously they take such a nonsensical thing. Now you have these things flying over military bases, and they're not telling anybody what they are, where they're from, what they're doing, and they're not doing anything about it. Like, what are we dealing with here? I'm serious. Is this psyops?
No, it's got to be a psyop too. They got to know. There's no way. They have cameras. They have everything. They have infrared. They got anything kind of tech you think they have. They have. They have to know.
Yeah, right. That's it. But they can't not acknowledge them because people are seeing them. So they have to say something. They can't just swamp gas all over the United States and Europe.
They can't just tell you they're coming in for lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And you know what's even stranger is like even the photos that people seem to be taking of them. Like, first of all, do you remember that photo I sent you, Nathan? The light in the sky that was way up high, whatever. It looks identical to that, and it was doing the exact same thing. And it is very strange, high strangeness. It's a bright light, but it's split in two. And if you notice, whenever you see these things, it's a bright light and it's split in two.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever I saw seems pretty consistent with what's being seen now, but it's just very weird, man. Strange times we live in.
Yes, we do.
So you think the drones are coming from China or something like that?
I mean, they keep on saying drones, but I mean, are they? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because did you know I was on the APEC show, APEC open mic show right before this one, and Tim was saying that China controls Zoom. They read all the traffic of Zoom and all that. And this is exactly what I was saying 2 years ago. I said, you guys need to use Jitsi or something safer, Google Meet, Microsoft, or Jitsi, even better, which is a peer-to-peer meeting technology. And, I was saying that 2 years ago, and now apparently it's true. China controlled Discords, the Discord, TikTok, obviously. And people better wake up. People better wake the hell up, before it's too late. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technology is just moving so fast, right?
So it's the same thing.
I'm just surprised that nobody's shooting at the drones, to be honest with you. But I'm not talking about the military or the government. I'm talking about people.
Yeah, they got lasers. They got
You think
lasers
they're
that can track.
UFOs?
They
I don't.
yeah.
I mean, I was opening this question up to say to see what everybody thinks is going on because, like I said, it seems like a weird psyop thing. You know,
Yeah,
like
they got lasers. They got technology with laser weapons to take down these drones. So if it's a problem, they got the technology to counter strike these drones. You know,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
if they're drones, though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they are drones. I'm not saying that they're not.
but
But
what else can they be?
I did have an encounter with something of high strangeness. You know, and I slowed my truck down to 5 miles an hour. I really couldn't pull over, or else I would have. But as I was passing underneath this thing, I slowed down to like 5 miles an hour, rolled my window down. It was about maybe 500 to 700 feet above, and it did not make a sound and it did not budge an inch. So I don't really know what was going on, but I'll tell you what, it was not that small. And something, you know, hovering off the ground like that at that kind of distance would make a sense. Like you would hear it. You could hear a Mavic drone for crying out loud when it's above your head.
Yeah. So maybe
So
it's
I don't really know what it is, but
a UFO probe or something like that. Is it large?
I mean, what I saw, it was like maybe half the size of a helicopter, like
Oh,
a
okay.
regular news helicopter. It was
Yeah.
maybe like half that size. Yeah, I don't know.
It
Strange
was
stuff.
probably it's a UFO probe. They wanted to track you down.
I want to believe, man. I want to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
just
believe
park
anything.
and
You
get
know, I
out.
just want them to tell us the straight dope.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Stop telling us nonsense. Well, isn't that's like the problem with the government at this point? Is like, you know, when so many secrets are kept and so much disinformation has been passed, even when they tell the truth, you don't even know if they are or not. So like they have
Oh,
these hearings and stuff, and it's like, oh, these guys are saying all sorts of shocking things, and they're probably lying. Think
yeah.
about that for a second, you know?
Can we talk about the COVID here or not?
No,
No,
we
no,
can't say
no.
the C word.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I had something very important to say, but next time by email I'll send it to you.
I know there was something kind of released on that the other day that I saw that was very interesting. It's a shame that it can't be mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trigger word here on YouTube now that I found out. They're really aggressive on it.
Yeah. Well, it's mainstream news now, so I don't know what withholds YouTube from
Yeah.
talking about it.
No, you're absolutely right. With all the censorship now, it's shifted from primarily independent to mainstream. You know, with all the filters and things you can't say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a possibility that some of that might, you know, might ultimately change. See how it all goes.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing stays stagnant.
Yeah. Probably refer to it as the Wuhan flu. And nothing goes.
Yeah, so there's use secret words like you know secret codifications. That's all the military works. They all have these secret keywords. So let's do the same.
This is how things turn a cult. When you can't talk about it in general public, and then you have to start beating around the bush about things. Then all of a sudden you have Voynich manuscripts.
Yeah.
600 years later, still trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
Yeah. That's funny.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to ran out of the 3D printer film and had to switch rolls.
What are you printing in?
Well, I'm just printing in PLA. I'm
Okay.
printing cases right now. So they're 1 hour prints.
So, any updates on your hand, Mike?
Yeah. I found out air is the biggest enemy to my cell. So all the cells have to be hermetically sealed from the air. It severely degrades the power cell. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what about you, Nathan?
Oh, I'm just lighting things up like always. Always got something crazy going on.
Nathan, show that video of the guy's foot. You have to show this.
Oh, you okay seeing it on the thing?
Yeah. Let's
Hey,
show it.
There's a gentleman in the chat that wants to show UFO footage, if you're okay with it too. So give me 1 second. Let me pull. He says he's got a clear footage of it going over the base.
While you're pulling that up, I saw something pop up, and I didn't see any other reports, but where I just moved from, directly south, right off the shore, apparently there were 2 helicopters doing a recovery after there were a bunch of sightings, and they pinpointed the 3 spots where they saw the UAPs, and one was right on top of where he used to live. Such high strangeness. Oh, no way.
Lord Raiden.
What, you pull yourself away?
He's having trouble, guys. He's lightning dysfunction.
I want to stop looking, but I can't.
I just want to know how he does it.
I wonder if he puts it in a hole, it'll make it worse.
He's got a superpower, but it only comes out of his feet.
Well, okay. Where did it come from?
Yeah, where is the static or the lightning or plasma coming from?
They're not showing us. I don't know where it's coming from.
That is crazy.
Well, it's got to be running through his body because look at the ground is friggin' terracotta.
Well, it's ceramic tile. Ceramic's a great dielectric.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it could be, but under it?
Yeah,
Where-
that's what I was. Yeah.
I'm saying, what's the source of the video?
Oh, it's on Facebook. I can send it to you.
I don't know. I kind of want to forget this video.
Yeah, he could have like put on some socks or something. I don't know.
God, I'd rather see a salami rubbing it.
Oh my god!
I mean, come on. We've all seen a pickle get electrocuted before, like a Christmas ornament.
Oh, jeez.
He said, just tell Sean to put a hot dog on top of his Tesla coil, line it up, make sure you put the little face with Google eyes on it.
Yeah. Still got that coil, Mike? The big one?
Oh,
Man.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
wow.
We could go so many ways with that. Wow.
Well, I had to carefully choose the word salami.
Yeah.
There were multiple other words that came to mind first.
Yeah, me too. I just
Oh,
didn't,
yeah.
I just didn't express myself.
Amen.
Oh, it
Uh,
sounds just as bad as last time when you guys had the holes and we threw, and Joe was talking about throwing the hot dogs through the holes.
Oh, you caught on to that, huh?
Oh man, it's
Oh,
funny you
it's
said
great.
that. It's funny you said that. I had a Costco wiener for dinner.
Oh, that's a big one too.
Oh,
That's a one and done.
Yeah. A lot of garlic in those things, man.
Yeah. They opened up their own hot dog factory, Costco, just so they could keep them like $1.25 or whatever they are, a buck.
Yeah. I was wondering, did you guys want to like touch or kind of recap on what you guys were talking about on your show there today, Nathan?
yeah,
we
give
can
me
do
a
that.
second.
Our live chat is open, everybody. It's going really good right now. So if you have any questions, comments for anybody, shoot it in the live chat, and hopefully we'll be able to answer those questions.
Oh, so you want to do a recap on the show we did earlier?
Yeah, because I think everybody should go after this show tonight and go to Nathan's YouTube channel, Old Man Builds, and check out that show, please. Everybody should watch that show. It's pretty important.
And don't forget to become a member of the channel. So,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we one day go to Cosmic Summit or something.
That's right. You can put a bunch of emojis on there while we're doing the chat. Pretty awesome. Anyway, yeah. So what it was is we're just identifying the piezoelectric and what it's doing in the structure of the actual quartz and why the structure matters and the shape of it. So basically, in the shape of the quartz is the same shape that you get in a wire configuration in order to get the frequency, the octave, in order to get it to transmutate elements, things like that. The way you get it into your vortex, all of it, along with the electrical impingement. And then we're just showing how everything has energy in it that's quartz without you knowing it, and that water activates it. So we were showing, I think it's diorite or something like that, and the guy crushed it up. He basically put it in water and checked it for voltage, and he was getting 368 milliamps of voltage. So it was telling you that there's already voltage there. So when people say they get an effect from a crystal, well, that's true because there is energy coming off of it. So we also showed it in granite, where it does the same thing. As soon as the granite gets the quartz wet, it produces energy there. So it seemed that when we did these tests with our Tesla coil, we ran right across the main thing that communicates with the quartz itself. So we got the energy that now can an imprint on the crystal itself, or the crystal can give us the information that's on it. So we have a direct line in communication with it now. And, it might just be the frequency of it to resonate it, and it might be something else. And we'll have to look into that. But it's at least that we figured out the part of you have to have the quartz, the water, and the Tesla coil energy was going down the center, which is that cold energy, in order to activate this stuff. And then we also talked about the piezoelectric disc, how it amplifies this when you put it into a pulse circuit. So, or you cut off the negative on it and let it shut off the power to the piezo, so then it can bounce back the frequencies that goes on in it. And the cool thing is, we also amplify that by double when you do it. So if it's at 160 millivolts, it goes to 320. And it really is the answer that Tesla was looking for. The 3, the 6, the 9 is the exact configuration if you want to wire it in a wire frame, just like Gerald would do, in order to make it. And then they show it everywhere with 2 triangles 180 degrees out of phase of each other. And they show that there's a vortex. And this is going back, 1,000 years or so. They had this. They also show it in their mandalas that they have the information in there. So if you just look at the patterns they create, not the ones that you put in, but the ones they create, whether it's a tetrahedron or something else, then it would show you exactly what frequencies you're going to get. So there's an established pattern here that goes throughout the entire world when you deal with crystal that actually tells you the exact process of the world's going on, and the fact that we're in cold electricity and that the cold electricity is pulling things in. That's why you don't get a whole lot of electric field on the outside like you would with a magnet when you get outside the Earth's ozone layer. But you do get the effects of magnetization because it's the same effect you get when you defeated Lenz's law in your device, Mike. So in that Renegade. So it shows every feature that you want to see. And we really did stumble upon Tesla's biggest secret that they weren't wanting to get out. And we showed it. And I can tell you right now, I'm getting a little bit of shadow banning going on my channel. I'm usually, about 600 to 800 views, and right now I get like 200 on videos that should go a lot more. And they want to do that tech because I just scratch the surface of it. That's why, and they know it. They know that we're just starting to put the ground in it and double ground it, and they don't want that out. They don't want the fact that you can put in light bulbs throughout your entire house if they're fluorescent and light up everything on 20 volts. I mean, it's really a game changer what came out of it. And I was watching today the History Channel, and they were doing Ancient Aliens on there. And the guy, I was laughing. He got it, like 6 feet out from a Tesla coil that puts out like 1,300 volts. And he got it in the ground 6 feet. And I'm thinking, dude, I can do with 20 volts. You know what I mean? I don't need 1,500. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. So,
yeah. The regular utilities, they always say, 120 volts at 60 hertz.
Yeah, that whole thing on that thing was a psyop, man. They just wanted to bury it and make you think it was just very little for a high amount of voltage, when it's actually the other way around. They just don't know how to do the experiment. So it's kind of like Mythbusters and what they tried to do to Bedini. So I think it's just garbage what they put out, and they should fix it. They should apologize for it, because that was just the wrong way to go.
This is all just a case of like, if you're making a pot of sauce or something for pasta, and you chop up raw garlic and you throw it into your sauce, how your sauce is going to taste like, oh my God, what in the world? But, if you take that same garlic and you just put it into the pan in a little oil, ahead of time, it doesn't even have to get browned. You can add the sauce in after that, and then it's beautiful and nice and all throughout, and you get a nice result.
Absolutely.
It's like, all the ingredients are the same. It's just a simple matter of sequence and method, and when the sequence and the method's screwed up, you're never going to get the results you want.
Yeah, we were talking about that today too. The lady took the crystal and wound it with the wire,
right?
Which would be a good thing to do, but she used the hot side of the Tesla coil, which is attached to the number 2 wire, instead of putting it down the center, which would have gave her the right electricity she needed. And then she didn't put it in water to activate it. So that was the only thing. She had all the right parts sitting right there, doing the almost the right processes, just change them just a little bit, and she would have activated that thing beautifully. And you could have put some real energy out of the big the big one she's had on there right now. So, so sorry. Yeah, a lot of power.
Yeah.
It all boils down to that, famous saying, energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what Tesla said. That's the keys to the universe.
Absolutely.
And, all you have to do is tickle a crystal, and the crystal will tap into the 0-point energy. You get into harmonic resonance with the 0-point field. The second that happens, both sides are in resonance with each other. They connect to each other. So if you're given like a ping or a pulse of power, that potential will come back double what you put in. That's where your gain in power is. And I demonstrate that very well in the Renegade device. So basically, I'm shorting out my coil, but with a piezo in the middle. And the piezo is reacting to that shorting out, and it's giving me 50% more power back than when I'm actually putting in. So
Yeah, because it acts like when you turn on the power to the piezo, it acts like it's suppressing the energy, so that when you let it out, it feels like it's bouncing back.
right,
Even though your energy itself didn't change when you suppressed it.
right,
That's what's interesting about that whole piezo thing. Because we usually use it in the opposite way, say like for a drum or something like that. You tap on it, you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Instead of using it like pressing or a sensor or whatever, I'm shocking it with voltage,
Mm-hmm.
and it responds, and it sends 50% more back. It was so obvious when I hooked it up what was going on. You didn't need $1,000 worth of testing equipment to see what was going on. When that light went twice as bright as it did before without it, what other explanation do you have? And then you put a voltmeter, you went from say 30 volts input, now you're getting 60 volts coming back.
Yeah.
Where is this extra power coming from? It could be coming from the coil and the inductive reactance, but I think a lot of it has to do with how it's interacting with the transducer and the crystal. That's the one that I use is barium titanate, and that seems to work really, really well with the Renegade device.
So I had a question for you on that, Mike. Why do you put it on the trigger coil instead of the receiving coils?
Oh, on the receiving? Because the receiving coil is only picking up the flux spinning from the wheel. There's no voltage going in it. Where at the drive coil, I'm putting a pulse of 50 volts through that coil.
Mm.
So that's enough to tickle the transducer to make it do what it needs to do. You could do it. You could do it with spinning magnets like that, but we would have to spend like 20,000 RPM to get enough voltage to do it.
Oh, okay. I was just curious why it was one versus the other.
Yeah.
So-
It's just another way of tapping off the dipole without actually suppressing the power input. So that's it's an open loop system because they got the spark gap and they got the transducers. That's keeping it an open circuit. So every time the spark gap goes off, my current demand from my power source goes to zero. That's why my batteries last 6 months, a year, whatever, because of the hyper efficiency that I'm getting from that method. Everybody says, oh, spark is dirty, it makes a lot of noise, it's this, that, and all the negative. Yeah, but it serves one very big purpose. One, to trigger the transducer, and number two, to stop the current flow coming from your power source. So that makes a current-free potential. If you can achieve a current-free potential, guess what? Your batteries don't wear out.
Yeah,
So
doesn't it also break your system? So because there's a gap there, it's not dependent on the rest of the system. So doesn't it break it at that point?
Well, it's an actual physical separation in the connection. That's the only way it can be achieved. You can't do it with an SSR. You can't do it with a MOSFET. A lot of people say you can, but you do not get the same effect of the current free. When the physical connection's been released, you're right in a nanosecond, your current goes to zero. So
Yeah,
now
there's
you
no
got
back EMF to ruin any MOSFETs in there because there isn't any.
and it also stops the lens effect. That's a big contributor to negating the lens effect. So it doesn't matter. I can tap off my motor by sending that high voltage spike into a transformer that's not connected to the secondary winding, and I can draw power off it as much as I want. And guess what? The motor just keeps going the same speed, just like it not even being affected. So
Nice.
therefore, I was able to create an open loop system and draw power off the open loop system without pulling them out, without pulling the motor down. So I could put I could do it dead short on that circuit. The motor will just keep going. Like it didn't even notice it. It just keeps going. And
That's
if you
really
wire
cool.
if you wire it a certain way and dead short it out, the motor actually will start speeding up. But because the way I've configured everything, it doesn't draw any more current. Try that with a regular motor. Can't do it.
Hey, Ben, you had something you were going to say?
Yeah, no, I forgot to mention earlier that Michel Morel actually got a piezoelectric transducer to test on our coil system. And he like we don't exactly know what it means yet, but he got like twice, he got the system to hum twice as loud. So when it was in resonance, you know, it has that hum, that high pitch, it like sings to you. So, but when it's like really in resonance, yeah, it seems to get louder. So when he hooked it up, it was like twice as loud. It was ridiculous.
Right. Because the power is increasing. You're tapping the 0 point field.
That makes sense.
That'd be interesting to see your results now once he has it all set up to check them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the boards. We're going to be testing them soon for
up
the
a
open
neon
and closed circuit.
Hook up a neon bulb to that circuit in parallel with the coil that you're using with the piezo, and that neon should go very bright.
Okay, so hook it like I would use the neon as a protection in parallel with the transistor.
Right, not series, parallel.
In parallel. Gotcha. Yeah, no, because I definitely plan on messing with the piezoelectric transducers. They seem like a definite way of increasing the efficiency of the system. And no, Nathan, I think you're absolutely right. The more research that I'm doing on this LED panel, it does have a capacitor in it. So, you know.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah, we got PCBs that are going to be coming in the mail in a couple of weeks that I'm going to be testing. They have the ability to switch between the open and closed circuit methods of the coil that I've been testing with. So that should make it easier for you guys to test.
Oh, Ben, you check out, there's a couple of videos that Joe Legacy has put out in the last while doing open loop circuits. I would suggest taking a look at some of those videos. They might be quite helpful for what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll do that. I know I haven't kept up to date with his channel, but he does put out some really useful videos.
Yeah, there was a couple of good ones this week relating to keeping an open loop system. You know, don't close the dipole, keeping it open. And he used a neon bulb to keep it as an open loop system.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's funny is I watched Joel's channel. He's like right in line with what we're doing. Like everything that he puts out is like a circuit that we could use or something that has to do with the resonance experiment like I'm doing. So I just love that about his channel because it's like current for what we're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's touched base on a lot of areas, and he's coming up with very good circuit diagrams and the theory to go with it, and it works. So depending on what you're doing, motors, or you're doing stuff that Nathan's doing or what Ben's doing, there's something that he has built that will help your system. So, you know, there's a lot of people on the ball, man. There are a lot of people out there get on top of this, which is good.
And everybody's kind of got like their own flavor of how they're doing it, you know, too, I've noticed. So, you know, you get a lot of, you know, like, oh, well, this is kind of the topic this week. So next week it'll kind of find its way over there. But because the systems are different, they're just finding how it's kind of analogous and working with it that way, which, you know, that's interesting too. You know, I always appreciate Joel's work. Joel puts a good presentation together. It's always very well thought out, and his work is very good.
Yeah. I'm just gonna scoot up for a quick smoke, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, he did one wire energy. He was showing on his channel this last time. He just had a video of it, and I just thought it was brilliant because it wasn't like how do I say it? It was a little more fast paced. It was a little more technical, and it blew right through the whole thing, and it made it easy to understand. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, straight to the point.
Yeah. So He's been getting a lot of stuff ever since Electro Boom mentioned him. So
Cool.
I guess he came up on Electro Boom's how do I say this? Not real energy list or some junk like that. So I need to come up on that list.
Yeah, for real. Well, hey, for what it's worth,
I know, right?
I've been on Forbes trying to preach the gospel over there a little
Oh,
bit.
really?
Try to get a little attention over your way, but that chat moves so fast that it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, the comments don't stick around long enough for you to see what's going on.
A lot of times, yeah. Gerald's got the idea though. When he goes in there and he has something to say, he just copies and pastes it in there 100 times until he gets the response he's looking for.
Gerald's hilarious because he just goes in and does it all the time, man. Every day I see it. Like if you go over there and watch it, I guess it's like his current events show. So he goes on there and then talks some trash every time.
I really like Forbes' show. I do feel like he talks a lot about the garage guys, but that's what he'll say is like the guys working in their garage. He's not trying to bring up anything anyone's doing. He's not trying to elaborate on it. I don't know what his position is on that or whatever, but for what he preaches, you would think that maybe a little bit more notoriety would find its way. But I don't fault him at all. I mean, he's got kind of the bigger names attention at this point. He gets interviews with Sal Pius all the time, and he's kind of made a name for himself on doing commentaries and whatnot on pretty well-known work, from Bearden and all that stuff. So it's sort of, I guess, the field he's playing on.
Well, I guess if you're gonna have on the guys that do the technical stuff, you might as well have the people that put on the demonstrations of what's going on. You know what I mean? Why not have a garage guy on there? Show what you could do. Show your best shot on it.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm thinking, and that's sort of why I've been in the chat trying to get a little bit of exposure to it. That just, if anything, I don't know how much, if anything, he watches of yours, but it's got to be some. It's more than none, I'll tell you that much. It's definitely more than none. And I mean, he's familiar with Gerald.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
No, he's literally said, "Yeah, Gerald, you're right," a bunch of times. And that's not his name, like in the chat. So obviously, there's some familiarity there.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
I don't know. Entertaining, if nothing else. I really, really like his work that he's done on that Malaysian flight stuff, where that's like his main bread and butter. And the video of the 3 orbs and whatnot. He said something super interesting recently, saying that he had a whistleblower contact reach out to him, that he was able to check out their credentials and stuff, and seems to check out, where the guy more or less said that he worked on a satellite system that they put up in the 90s that worked off of infrared. And it's these infrared, it's like the triangulation of these infrared arrays that causes the orbs to form. And the way that they lock and track is just based on the fact that it's all based on triangulation. And that once you get the 3 orbs and you get them locked in, they start building energy, and then ultimately snap right out of place. That's like his whole theory on it. And then he's got the one guy saying that that's the system, and that's been up since the 90s.
Well, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, who knows either? But I mean, this is what he's saying.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I guess I could change my channel and start chasing papers and reading things, and then just talking about the same stuff everybody else talks about. I guess that'd be all right. You know what I mean? Give me something to do, but that's just not who I am. I
No,
just, I don't think I could fit in that little shell.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, I mean, I get that. I mean, for me, it's a little bit strange since I'm not really doing the lab work, at least at this moment. Although every day that passes, I'm getting closer. I'm starting to get the itch. But I got a buddy to work on the stuff with now, so like that's motivation.
Right
But
on.
no, in all seriousness though, when you have all these nonsensical reports, like whether it's total, horseshit or it's totally legit or somewhere in between, you have these things and you can start to weed out constants of what is reported and what people observe.
Mhm.
And then it's interesting to look at those things and what people observe that to be the effects and realize that if that's sort of where you're aiming and that's already doing it, then understanding at least what it is that's consistent, is pretty critical in cracking a code, especially if you get stuck sometimes. And that's really where I find it the most interesting. I mean, these things are what they are. Like neither me or you have the joystick, for it, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, I mean, look, I'm entertained by it. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy watching some of those shows, and I watch Forbes, and then who was I watching today? Was it Bendel? He kept showing the same picture 1,000 times. I on the
I didn't see if he came out with something today. I don't know.
the something experience. I don't know, Linderman experience, or dude, I just know it by the face that's on there. That's all I know. So I was watching that, and he was talking about how the geometry on there was going. And the first thing I asked is, "Well, how did the electricity get there?" Because that's the part of the experiment to tell you the answer. Instead of putting this geometry over it and showing where the holes, line up and stuff like that, where's the energy coming from? What was the test that was going on? I didn't get to see any of that. I just saw the picture, which was nice, but without the rest of it to put the experiment back together and see what's going on, it could have just been, an electric rod shooting the energy onto a plate for all I know.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just kind of hard when you get to that. I would have loved to have seen the rest of it. It's not that the theory he had was wrong or bad. I just would love to see the rest of it.
Yeah. I get that.
It's the Varja model, VAJRA. I almost said the wrong thing there, man.
Vimanas.
Rhymes with.
Well, you had Ben getting Hummers earlier, and then this. It's like, wow.
Here we go. Oh boy. There's a rabbit hole.
Was it the Vajra? Was that it?
Vajra? Vimanas, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the Vaj.
Oh man. Here we go again. Too much.
You got me hanging around Joe most of the day. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, by the way,
that's it, Nathan. You're cut off. You really shot your load on that one.
But by the way, look at that, man. I got all these errors on my screen.
Oh my God. Yo, Phil figured out time travel.
Yeah.
Really.
No, I got all these errors. I had these WhatsApp errors last week. Now I got these StreamYard errors. Something is weird, man. Do you guys have these errors?
Not like yours, no.
Server errors and stuff?
I don't invent anything. Nobody cares about me.
Oh, that's not true, Joe.
Yeah,
we love it. We go on wild adventures every weekend.
Yeah, it's all right. Listen, all right. If anybody knocks on your door, Phil, just look through the peephole first, because it's going to be them NSA guys. They're going to be like, "Hi, Phil, remember us?"
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you're here to buy my inventions, right? It's like,
No,
yeah. How's
He'd
this
be
rag
saying,
smell, buddy?
"Hey, weren't you guys at that convention?"
Yeah. Hey, you're the guys from the NSA.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace and love, man. This stuff is whacked out, man. The U.S. government's whacked.
so hold on. Somebody says Bob has tested his device. So was he looking? Is that something from the thunderstorm generator? Then was that what he was trying to show?
Yeah, I've seen all the tests on that.
Oh,
They seem
Well, no, I'm not discouraging you. I'm just asking, was that what that plate was from? Because that would be interesting. He said yes. Okay, cool. Well, then now it puts more context to it. I can go back and watch and see how it's built. Then
no. I think it's a pretty legit device. I've seen the testing they did on it with the O2 sensors and the full spectrum of CO2, carbon monoxide, all that stuff. And it seemed like in the end that it was actually putting out more oxygen at the end of the pipe. The guy actually went up to the pipe and put his face right in front of the exhaust and start breathing it in. So yeah, I think it's a legitimate device. So hopefully you can get it out there, right?
so what does it do? Have high voltage electricity in order to trap carbon in there, or does it transmutate the carbon into something else?
Yeah, he has like an electrolysis bottle, so there's water in it, and he supercharges that water. It goes through the pipe and goes through this round spherical, and it's like a sphere within a sphere, and it's recycling the hot gases inside to put it in the plasma state, and that's where the transmutation of the CO2 and the carbon and all that stuff gets basically neutralized in that chamber. So he takes it one step further and recycles it back into the system again. So by the time it does come out of the exhaust, there's more oxygen coming out than the bad stuff. And they did I seen one video they did, it was about an hour long, doing a full, complete diagnostic test on it. And it looked good from what I could see. Anyways, I haven't physically seen it myself in person, but
Might have to check that out.
So he's had some pretty big interests, military. Apparently, the military in India, they're very interested in it for UPS power systems, power their tanks and utility vehicles and stuff like that. So he's definitely getting a buzz going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've said that for a while about that tech and about India being interested. I bet you that they got the closed system introduction to it. Like I don't think they got the watered down version, or else I couldn't imagine why they'd be interested.
Right. Yeah, we lost Philip. Maybe he's been hacked.
Well, is it supposed to be like an air purifier? Is that what it does in the end?
It purifies the air, yeah. Basically, inside that spherical chamber,
Mm-hmm.
it's a sphere within a sphere, and it recycles it and puts it in the plasma state. That's where the transmutation of the elements happens.
It also
Right.
refeeds.
I'm
the
gonna
hydrogen back into
interject
the
a little
engine
bit.
to increase efficiency.
So there were two versions of this. Okay, there was the early version that they scrubbed and erased. Okay, you really can't find anything on it anymore. All right,
Okay.
and then there's the now version. Once the patents got filed, they had to go with the new version and scrub the old one because they knew that would hang them up. All right, so the way that this thing works is that they start up the generator. Okay, they have to let it get to like 700 degrees. It has to be at a certain minimal operational temperature for it to be changed over. Now, when they change it over, what they do is they flip a valve, okay, and the exhaust gas goes through a pipe where it's ionized with UVB, okay, and then it's run through a pipe which spins it
Hmm.
in one direction, and then brings it through a bubbler, which creates cavitation bubbles, super little cavitation bubbles. Because once they flip that valve, okay, there's enough back pressure for it to be a pressurized system. So with every stroke of the piston, there's a differential in pressure, causing the bubbles that are rising through the medium to expand and contract. So because they have an ionized charge through the UVB, and now they're in a bubble state in medium being expanded and contracted, a plasmoid is formed in that circumstance through that cavitation. Once the cavitation bubble pops, it actually releases the plasmoid, and it's like an event. That pop is like the creation of the plasmoid. It's then sucked through that same pipe system reverse directionally through these bulbs that you're talking about, the bulb within a bulb, and then there's a bulb inside of that too that keeps the flow going. And it's counter rotated on top of the other gas. And then in the case of this particular system, it's then redirected and dispelled. Okay. It used to be a closed system. That pipe used to run back into the carburetor. So what would happen is when it reached temperature, you'd flip both valves simultaneously, and then the thing would be transmuting its exhaust gas back into its original form, killing out the hydrocarbons, restoring the oxygen levels, and then throwing the oxygen rich air, from the exhaust back right into the carburetor. And the reason that was problematic is because the fuel efficiency went through the roof. So
from what I understand, the reason why they don't increase the fuel efficiency of the current system is because if you increase the efficiency anymore, it would get too hot and just melt itself.
I've heard a couple of different things. I heard that it was a patent issue because, the U.S. Patent Office has issues.
Yeah, well, that's a different system you're saying, so it could have been different. But in terms of the current system, that's the reason why it doesn't have more efficiency. They said like it's detuned slightly, is what they said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the detuning of it. See, this is what I'm saying. There were about 3 years ago, maybe, or maybe a little 5 years ago. It was like right when this stuff started coming out on the internet, like that this work was like functional. That used to feed right back in, and they used to make claims that were like, the types of claims that get a knock at your door. Like it was like,
definitely.
Right. Sips gas, no emissions. Sips gas, no emissions. Closed loop system. Those things are like red flags.
Oh yeah.
And the patent office is like no on every single one of them.
Is it breaking the carbon in the carburetor, or what happens to the carbon? I'm kind of lost on that.
Does it
transmutate?
Yeah. It transmutates, but when it's cavitated into a plasma and then spun and superheated through the exchange system counter rotationally, you have a positive force in, a positively charged force in, a negatively charged force out with plasma interaction that ultimately causes transmutation.
Okay.
The interesting is they don't actually ever touch; they're separated.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
But it's quantum tunneling. It's like Mike's battery situation. It's the charges don't care. The charges, that inner pipe is charged one way, and the contents and outer pipe is charged another way.
And one of the reasons why they said they put the steel wool in the water assembly, the plasmoid generator they called it, is to ensure that the bubbles form at approximately 5 micron. I think they have to form small enough in order to implode symmetrically. So if they're too big, even slightly too big, like if you can see them, they're probably too big.
That's why they have to have it in there, is to maintain small bubble size. They use an aeration stone to get it to the initial. Yeah. They use
Oh,
an aeration stone like you would use in a fish tank to
yeah,
get
that makes
the
sense.
tiny, tiny bubbles. But what happens is, like, the air would recombine with other air pockets as it rises, leading
Mm.
to bigger bubbles that then can't be fully compressed enough to create a cavitation effect. So they put the steel wool in there to maintain the fineness of the
Oh, so
cavitation
it's
bubble.
already broken down, but they're maintaining that small size, and so they don't collide it and combine. That's interesting.
Exactly, yeah, it's to keep it separated.
So I didn't know that. That's interesting. And then so how long ago do you think that they had this original system up? Because I had never heard of it.
It was on YouTube.
Hmm.
I want to say 3 years ago. It used to feed right back into the carburetor. Well, again, with the patent office, you can't claim to have a closed loop system and then have efficiency claims. So it was in the best interest of everything to scrub all that, to not make that claim, to just say that it scrubs the air, and it scrubs the emissions, and then sell it off as an alternative exotic catalytic converter system, because that kind of sort of doesn't exist in that form, but it exists in one way, shape, or form.
I know they have like 7 or 9 different units that they have now built, sent out to different independent labs to be tested. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna see more people talking about that technology.
I know that right after Cosmic Summit, they were supposed to bring it to one of the authorities of the United Kingdom for testing,
Mm.
like whatever their energy department was going to do testing on it to verify the results and everything. I don't remember ever hearing the results of that, only confirming that it did take place.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. It might be like, I don't know how to get in touch with Jordan to like ask him that.
Might have to watch the videos on that.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
Bob Grenier's tied up into that, and I know some people know how to get in touch with him. Be interesting to know.
That must have been what he was talking about then on those plates. Yeah. Okay, now I understand. If he's creating plasmoids on there, but there was just so much carnage on that plate, there was extra in there. So it almost looked like it was creating 3 or 4 of them before it settled on the 2. So that was the interesting part.
Yeah, apparently his systems hold charge for quite some time. Through the cavitation process and the plasmoids tunneling and stuff, it pits out the inner chambers of that it goes through, and apparently those charges like to reside in those micro pits. And
Oh yeah, he had a system running for a while, and then he shut it down for 7 years, and then he turned it back on. He didn't have to attach the water assembly. The plasmoids embedded in the system just ran it for like 20 minutes without the water assembly or anything, because they were just embedded in the system, and for 7 years. That's pretty cool, huh?
yeah, and even without a fresh charge in that same test you're talking about, they were still able to observe overcharging of the system with dancing ball lightning right on the outside of the
Oh wow,
of the
yeah,
tape.
I
Like,
love
you
it. I
could
love
see
those.
it, like,
Yeah,
it just zips around.
yeah, it's so cool. I love watching those videos, and they slow it down. You can see it jump kind of like in and out of reality.
Yeah, blinks in and out, zips about, goes in and out of the tube. It does whatever it wants to do.
Yeah, because the way that it was described to me is it's still confined to the inner sphere, like that inner thunderstorm generator, but sometimes it just jumps out and goes back in.
Yeah, they say that's an overcharge state, but what do I know?
Overcharge. Okay, so that's when you've gone a little too far.
I suppose,
Well, So Gerald's
Okay.
getting the same thing as they're getting. Is that what's going on here? Is that why Gerald always references them?
Well, Gerald he had evidence of that on the coils that he was showing with all the micro holes forming in the resin
Hmm.
that his coil was
And
embedded in. So he probably did have, cavitation events and
oh,
little
we're almost
lightning pockets.
positive of it. Yeah, because the neons on his system that are supposed to be red, they're pink. They're bright pink. It's kind of like an indicator.
Well, no, it's inside the bulb. It flows inside the bulb up and down like lava.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see it when yeah. But it's like it's some kind of marker that you can tell like there's something happening in there regarding ball lightning or plasmoids, and eating away at the system a little bit. The resin, that's also an indicator as well.
I bet you it's it's a magnetic impingement with a charged state on the outside actual balls, and the charged state stays in there, so it's actually creating that plasmoid based on those two features, just like Gerald's coil. It's got a direct correlation on the features that it's using to build it, and you could build it in hot or cold energy, and that's probably the relationship there.
Yeah, it's been kind of like a mystery for me, at least. Nathan. It's charged balls.
You're not kidding. I'm sorry. Yo, Sean got the biggest charge balls
Oh,
on the
that's a
world.
good
I've
one.
seen him in action.
Awesome. There
Ben
it
is creating a new keyword that YouTube is gonna have to watch for.
Yeah.
It's spelled like the energy drink from back in the 90s. BAWS. LLS.
Oh.
Balls.
Well, there you go, Mike. You have the old balls. I have the charged balls.
Yeah.
Can you tie him in a knot? Can you tie him in a bow?
Oh my! Oh my!
Bunch of schmucks.
Yeah, we gotta get him on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. It's all right. We're all gonna get like honorary PhDs one day once this all goes through. then we could walk into any lab in the country and talk like this and just literally have people bang
Oh my God,
the walls.
I would literally ask Jack to show up in the Admiral uniform and introduce us as the schmuck crew.
Yeah, the schmucks.
Do whatever you want at that point.
The Schmuck Brigade.
Yeah,
The innovative schmucks.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's all right. Listen, you crack this stuff wide open, they'll be naming the Nobel Prize after you, and then you could rename it anything you want.
Yeah. Oh.
The Old Man Builds Prize.
I just open a Denny's and then serve them charged nuts.
Denny's.
No, you know what you should open up is a Nathan's.
Charged nuts.
It's really original. You could sell hot dogs.
Oh no!
Charged dogs.
I sell them the big Polish sausage with the charged nuts. Oh.
Once a year, you could even have a contest where you bring all the best Asians over to see how many hot dogs they could eat.
So a big secret here is that Nathan actually invented Nathan's hot dogs. He just hasn't gone back in time yet to do it.
Oh, it's funny. Oh
boy!
Yeah, and if you take one of those hot dogs and put it on his graviplier, you'll have charged wieners.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Future weenies.
Dude, I don't even want to open that door. You imagine that? You put hot dogs on the end of the poles that are on there. You toot, toot, toot.
Yeah. It'll
See what
cook
people
from the
say?
inside out.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey, listen, if you're gonna go back in time and do all that, at least bring back Zima one more time, yo. Zima was good. I don't care what anybody
yeah.
said.
Yeah.
That was refreshing.
Hmm.
Reminds me of being a teenager.
Never had that, but I had rainwater. That was pretty good.
I don't remember that. Rainwater.
This is by Snapple. Snapple
Oh.
made that.
Oh,
Hmm.
Snapple, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Zima had alcohol in it.
I was
Yeah,
even.
two different beverage categories.
I know. I never had a Zima.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, listen. Yeah, gay dudes. But when I was like, how old? It didn't matter as long as it had a little bit of kick and it didn't taste like a hot natty. Then it was fine.
oh man, we used to drink the Boone's Farms,
Oh,
and
the Boone's Farm. Yeah.
yeah, get the fuzzy navel. That was pretty good. Oh man, those are the days.
Fuzzy navel, another hole. Sorry.
I can't keep track, Mike. There's too many holes.
Those sound like first world problems, dude.
Oh wow.
Our live chat's going crazy tonight. Holy man. Can't keep up here.
Don't forget the neutral hole.
Neutral.
Just wiggle it around a little bit.
Bi-directional hole.
The small hole. That's the return.
The small hole's the intake. The big hole's the exhaust.
Like bowling.
Mike's never gonna have me back on after I make this next sound.
Oh my god.
I'm banned. I banned myself.
Yeah. You talk a wiggle and the balls.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
This show just took a big left turn.
Now you wonder how I feel on Saturdays. At the end of the show, would always take the left turn.
Oh, that's good though. You gotta have fun sometimes, right?
How about that free energy, boys?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rubbed it so hard. Instead of getting static bolts, he got plasmoids. It's bad.
Fucking just killed me. I'm sorry.
Got that free energy, boy.
This plasmoid's for you. Well, our chat seems to like it.
There you go. I mean, listen,
Oh man.
if this is what you're doing with your Saturday night, this is as good as it gets anyway, guys. Come on.
You know,
We're all gonna be honest here.
this I don't know. I'm kind of speechless right now.
No plasmoids for you.
It smells like cheese pizza. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Just think about all the things I haven't said.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
We know
And
who
then-
not to get drunk.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, oh no, I'm pleasant.
Yeah, I should maybe crack a cold one open.
Yeah, that conversation could not be repeated if we had it. There'd be
Yeah,
no way.
mushrooms in space. There you go. Mushrooms in space. Hey, here's
Oh,
another one. Space balls.
mushrooms in space. Nice.
How about space balls?
Yeah. Your Schwartz is as big as mine.
You know something? I've never eaten mushrooms.
Oh
I
man.
love mushrooms.
Yeah,
They're
no,
great.
never messed with that.
Yeah, I was gonna do an experiment, and my wife's bong was in the back. Man, I figured I shouldn't do it. Give everybody the wrong impression.
It's
Think
an
I'm high doing
apparatus.
all my experiments.
You could blend right in with a lab, though. Yeah.
He's presenting his new Tesla coil. It's just a bong with a coil wrapped around it. Hey, we're gonna get fried and find out, guys.
Yeah. Right. Sometimes they blow the glass. They wrap the glass, blowing around the neck of the bomb. You know, it's like, oh, look at that! Fire it up.
Nathan opened up a restaurant and he has a menu. It would be something to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god. I tell you what, everybody put shrooms on their burgers, that's for sure. They'd be coming in for the
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? To be honest, magic mushrooms taste like crap. You might want to disguise their taste by extracting them and putting them into like chocolate or something. That's a better idea.
Oh my god.
I feel like they
Yeah,
do that.
We're not trying to kill
They
people.
do, yeah.
It's
No,
a new way-
that's a common.
It's a new way to levitate, huh?
It's a common way that people microdose now because I've had mushrooms and you put them in your mouth and they're nasty. They taste like they're dirt. They're grown in dirt.
Yeah, I think that's the polite way of saying it, buddy.
He pulled him out of the exhaust hole.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, throw that as dirt, maybe. I don't know.
But mushrooms taste nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, now you take a little bit of that and you're around your friends, you're like, guys, look, I figured it out, man. Like, it's like, look, I'm on. It's like, no, bro, you're still there.
Yeah.
Eat some more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
He says,
that
don't
left
chew,
him-
just swallow. There's a piece of advice for life. Oh, wow.
I mean, you could put them in a capsule.
Get that man a Zima.
Oh,
wow. Wow. I've learned a lot tonight.
About magic mushrooms?
Yeah.
Well, they're decriminalized in certain parts of Michigan. So
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the catch. That's the catch, man. They decriminalize it in Canada also. Same thing with marijuana. But if you want to cross the border, man, the federal laws are different.
mhm.
So they're gonna stop you if you tell the custom that you smoke weed all day long. Here in Canada, they'll just block you. You can't. It's legal inside the country, but not if you want to cross the border.
Well, it's the same here too. It's like at the federal level, it's illegal, but and there's more states than not that you can. I know New York, it's recreational at this point. Actually, you don't go anywhere without it's just smelling like skunk bee lifting their
Yeah.
tail up everywhere you go.
Oh, Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
if you want to travel or get out of the country, then you might have issues. Well, you will have issues crossing borders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
better off
no,
not to do that.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, leave your bong at home, ladies and gentlemen, if you're planning to go to Canada.
Yeah,
That's right.
and vice versa.
I don't know. I don't know Canada if they still block in, intruders, like people coming in if they smoke. I don't know, but I know that's the way it is. I asked the custom agent. She stopped me. Oh yeah, I forgot to telling you that. I was in Montreal airport going to Texas through St. Paul in Minnesota. Sorry, and I got stopped by the custom man. They did a background check on me for like an hour and a half. So I missed my flight. And they dug all the way down to my teenage years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all the way down to my teenage years. And whatever you do, man, even if you think it's erased or expunged, it's still on your. They can still see everything. So if you think your record is erased, it's not. They're lying. They can still see
Yeah,
everything.
they can look at my bent over rear.
Yeah,
Wow.
because
That I'm
when I was a teenager, we drove carts on a golf course illegally, and but I was a teenager and got erased when I was 18. But they saw everything. They asked me what did I if I ever got arrested in Canada. I said no, and then later I said yes. I forgot. I said yes, and then I said that golf thing. But I told her that everything should be erased. But then I said then I'm good. I'm good to go. But man, it's like it was a background check heavier than when I lived in San Diego when I applied for a visa 14 years ago. So it was it's weird, man. It's like with all these illegal immigrants all over North America, and I'm the one they pick on. It's like, geez.
Somebody said you had to erase your bong pictures.
Well,
Tax money.
I'm gonna get the wife good. I'm gonna put that wire right in the bong and see if it lights up with the bong water. We could charge your bong up to 12,000 volts.
It's like, I'm sorry,
Oh,
sir,
man.
but we're gonna have to confiscate your marijuana, but you could find a migrant on the corner to buy some new marijuana.
I wonder if the marijuana would ignite when I light up the bong. That would be a fun and interesting test.
The Tesla coil bong.
I'll have
Sounds
to put it in the
exciting.
garage and shut all the doors to find out.
Yo, you should put some cold energy into it and see if it starts talking or something,
Yeah.
It'd be like a South Park episode, like it would be like the Weed Powley.
South Park. That was great.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. I got to make sure it's full of smoke too for the effect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mike. Remember South Park? How you feeling about Terrence and Phillip these days? Yeah, I love that show, man. Awesome.
They love to jump over that line.
Oh man.
All right. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm starting to get the nods, man.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, this was kind of an unplanned stream, so we had some fun tonight. And is there anything else anybody else wants to throw in there before we wrap it up tonight?
Nah, I think we're pretty much good.
I think we're pretty much done.
We're all in trouble now.
Yeah, with all these key words that Your stream has
Oh,
now.
the algorithm just went nuts.
Charged balls and all
We
sorts
crashed.
of
We crashed their server tonight.
Yeah, we crashed the server. That's why I had all these errors on my screen.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up. We did an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for joining me kind of on short notice, and everybody in the live chat tonight. It was great, very good live chat for such a short notice of a show. Don't forget, guys, check out Nathan's Old Man Builds. Watch that show he did today. A very informative, very, very good show. One of the best he's done. And yeah, Philip, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with your leads. If it's going to lead you some cash flow.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if I think it's good, patience is a virtue to some degree, and I think things will speed up now. There's no blockers, everything is smooth, so I might I don't know, we'll see what happens next week.
Yep. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm still on afternoons next week, so there will be a live show on Nathan's channel, the League of Extraordinary Inventors, live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, right?
Mm-hmm. 6 o'clock for me.
Yeah, 6 o'clock on the West Coast. And yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night, great weekend, and we'll see everybody soon.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Good night,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
take care, everybody.
Have a good
Thanks.
night.
Good night.
Good night.